So your love story is not your typical love story. You've known each other a really long time. So, like, tell me how you met.
So we met at what is perhaps the most awkward gathering place for teenagers, which is band camp.
You met at band camp?
We met
okay.
at band camp when we were about 13, 14 years old.
Youngsters.
And about 3 years later, I was on the 1 train in New York City. It was my first week in the pre-college program at Juilliard. And I was with my friend, and we see this young man who was sitting there who was singing to himself and playing air piano. And I looked at him, and I was like, I know that guy. That's John Batiste from New Orleans. And then I blurted out in the way that 16-year-olds do, that's the man I'm going to marry someday.
Oh, my gosh. You
John,
knew.
did you hear her say that?
No.
No.
I didn't hear anything. Music in my head.
Yeah, of course. Right.
And we completely forgot about it. And, you know, we stayed friends, and it took about a decade later for us to actually get together.
So you had a real foundational relationship.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh.
Yes.
John, was there a moment for you when you knew that Suleika was the one?
Oh my goodness, she stood out from the band camp days. But you know that it's all about timing. When you find that right person, just trust the process, y'all. Trust the process. Don't force it. Just live life and be happy with yourself and keep developing. And friendship is also important. We had a great friendship.
Yes.
Suleika, can you walk us through sort of the beginning of your health battles?
So I was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 22 years old and went through 4 years of treatment and a bone marrow transplant. And in that next decade, I was really rebuilding my life because when the ceiling caves in on you, it's hard to assume structural stability. You have to learn to live along fault lines. So fast forward a decade after that, we were together, we were doing work that nourished us. We were deep in love, and it felt like things had finally come together, only to discover that my leukemia was back. And the same week I started treatment again, John found out that he was nominated for a historic 11 Grammy nominations. Yes. But it was this moment of extreme contrast happening at the same time. And I think that's so much of life, where you're holding both the beautiful things in life and the brutally hard ones in the same palm.
Why did you guys decide to tell your story on film? It's deeply personal.
It's deeply personal. And you know, it's hard to lay yourself bare that way. But I think for both of us, this film felt bigger than us. We wanted to show what it is to be navigating those highs and lows, and how to do so with love, with honesty, and to show what it means to navigate deep uncertainty. And so, you know, we had no idea what was going to come of this film. I didn't know if I was going to survive long enough to see it.
Yeah, and it was gonna document your making this American symphony.
Yes.
You know, and then this news came along with it, and you guys chose to share that part of it because it deeply informed what you were doing as well. What was that process like, having to do both those things at the same time?
Whew, you learn a big lesson that everybody's going through everything.
That's right.
All the time. Sometimes more of one portion than the other, but there are no real highs and lows. The duality of life is a myth. It's all everything at once. And people who are in public eye, you know, people who are on stages, on television, you may see one side, and you may see them at their highest high, but nobody is exempt from the human condition.